Iran's IRGC declares the Strait of Hormuz closed until further notice, dramatically escalating tensions across one of the world's busiest shipping routes. Tehran says the Strait of Hormuz will remain closed until what it calls US interference in the Middle East comes to an end. The IRGC warns that no commercial or military vessel will be allowed to cross the Strait of Hormuz without Iran's approval. Amid the escalating crisis, Iran reportedly fires a warning shot and forces a vessel to halt while transiting the Strait of Hormuz. Meanwhile, Oman proposes two separate shipping corridors in an effort to reduce tensions and keep maritime traffic flowing. Muscat reportedly suggests dividing operational responsibility for the Strait of Hormuz between Oman and Iran under new arrangement. Iran rejects the proposal, insisting that any future security arrangement must involve joint control of the entire Strait of Hormuz. Tehran reportedly fears separate shipping corridors could permanently divert global maritime traffic away from Iranian-controlled waters. Amid alarming public calls for Trump's assassination, Iran has publicly denied any resumption of peace talks, flatly contradicting Washington's account of the diplomatic situation. On July 10, Iran's foreign ministry stated clearly that there was no request to negotiate with the United States, throwing cold water on Trump's own claims of ongoing dialogue. Even as Trump insists Tehran was the one asking to keep talks alive, an Iranian cleric is simultaneously urging a direct strike on the president, exposing the deeply contradictory signals coming from Iran. Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesman Ismail Baghai accused the United States of repeatedly breaching its commitments, arguing that Washington has made a habit of signing deals it never intends to honor. We had no request to negotiate with the US, but based on our consistently responsible approach, we did not reject the request of one of the regional mediators to travel to Iran and discuss the latest situation. As you are aware, this visit took place today, Friday, July 10th, in Mashhad, and we conveyed our points of view and perspectives to the Qatari party. America's breach of covenant is a habit. If previously in 2018 their excuse was that they had a problem with the previous administration, now they apparently have stubbornness even with themselves. The Memorandum of Understanding, which has only been signed for 21 or 22 days, has constantly faced the violation of its various clauses by America. The events that occurred on Wednesday and Thursday were a blatant violation of clauses 1 and 2 of the Memorandum of Understanding. The announcement they made regarding the cancellation of the sale of Iranian oil was also a blatant violation of another clause of the Memorandum of Understanding, and the news recently announced about the imposition of new sanctions is a clear violation of Clause 9 of the Memorandum. From the very beginning, we clearly stated a commitment in exchange for a commitment. This means that we will not fulfill any commitment without a corresponding action. If the opposing party violates its commitments, which it has, the Islamic Republic of Iran has reciprocally taken and implemented the necessary actions. This is the approach that will continue in the future. The UNSC meeting was convened at the request of the United States, the United Kingdom, and France in implementation of Resolution 2231, which, from our perspective and from a legal standpoint, practically does not exist. Security Council Resolution 2231 expired on October 18, 2025. Therefore, any reporting by the Secretary-General regarding the implementation of this resolution is meaningless and lacks any legal validity. The positions of China and Russia are the same. This trip is a continuation of the consultations that we started with Oman over the past month or two regarding the Strait of Hormuz issue. As you know, the Strait of Hormuz issue was one of the key issues in the ceasefire Memorandum of Understanding. Iran accepted a clear responsibility regarding the establishment of future arrangements and also the issue of maritime services related to ship traffic in Oman and has been very determined and decisive in this regard. According to the agreement, we were to consult and cooperate with Oman in this regard. Several technical meetings have been held so far, both in Tehran and on this trip, and it is in continuation of those consultations to help facilitate safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz. On July 10th, Donald Trump publicly claimed that Iran had itself asked Washington to continue talks even after the ceasefire ended, framing Tehran as the side seeking engagement. Trump said the US agreed to those talks but made clear the ceasefire was now over, delivering both an olive branch and a threat in the very same breath. Iran's foreign ministry response directly contradicted Trump's public account, creating a sharp and public clash of narratives that makes any path back to dialogue look increasingly difficult. Interestingly, all of this unfolded amid a sharp rise in rhetoric around a possible assassination attempt on the president, adding a deeply personal and dangerous dimension to the already volatile standoff. An Iranian cleric has reportedly called for a missile or drone strike against US President Donald Trump, making the remarks amid heightened tensions between Washington and Tehran. Ahmad Reza Hajati allegedly urged supporters to carry out attacks in response to the death of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Hajati reportedly called on anyone with missiles or drones to target Donald Trump, using inflammatory language while calling for retaliation against those he blamed for Iran's losses. The cleric said such an action would represent revenge for the death of Iran's supreme leader, framing the call as part of a wider demand for retaliation. Another cleric, Syed Ali Hosseini, reportedly said that Ali Khamenei's death had left a wound in Iran, reflecting the grief and anger expressed by some supporters. Hosseini said the pain would not ease until revenge was taken against those responsible, as calls for retaliation continued among some religious figures and supporters. The cleric also accused the United States of maintaining a hostile stance toward Iran, adding to the ongoing political tensions between the two countries.
That's right. A new leader has come, and God willing he will take his place. We do not abrogate a verse or cause it to be forgotten, except that we bring forth one better than it or similar to it. Quran verse. Almighty God wills that if someone is martyred, he appoints another guardian in his place. But each person has his own character and standing. And the truth is that his loss is a wound that is settled on our hearts, until vengeance is taken for him and his enemies are destroyed, in whatever ways the officials themselves deem appropriate. This pain in our hearts will not ease, and the grief of separation from him will remain with us.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry guards.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.